There's so many predictions out there that the last election Nigeria might probably have is 2027. I will show you a very important video. This was actually done on China's TV some hours ago, right, by a professor who has taken his time to study what Tinubu is doing. And to my surprise, just some 30 minutes ago, Abdul Salam has fallen into a serious coma, right? According to the report, they said he's on sick bed. I don't know if it's coma, but this is just what the report says. And Buhari, since the last 1 month, we have not heard anything from Buhari. What does this mean? These are two very powerful Fulani leaders, of course, who are seems to be seen as the gatekeepers, as the power that be, right, who are securing the hegemony of the northern oligarchs above the rest of us. And right now, there are serious prayers. There are some prayers going on in the north, which I know, you and I know what they are praying for these guys to recover. And also in the south, there is another type of prayer that is going on, right, for these two powerful leaders. Now, let us flip the coin. Imagine Tinubu is the one that falls sick and is in coma or is in a state of where he cannot speak, nothing. I want you to think, what sort of prayer would they be praying for him in the north? What do you think the northern leaders will be praying to God for to happen to Tinubu? You see, when we come here every day, we say that we shouldn't have never been a country, right? Because I know that you agree with me that the prayers will vary not just by 1 each, but by almost 1 million kilometers apart. They are going to be a positive and negative prayer. In the case of Buhari and Abdul Salam, I know you know that the North will be praying that, oh God, please don't let these people go by now. Yeah, we might have some few people in the South who will be praying for them to be fine, right? Good. While in the South, I know you know what their prayer is. There are so many people that will have been saying that Abdul Salam brought calamity upon us. He was the one that foisted this fraudulent of a constitution. Yes, because it was Abdul Salam actually that foisted it on us. Don't forget that it was Abdul Salam that handed the power over to Obasanjo. He was the one that conducted the 1999 election, right? However, he didn't give us back our freedom. He didn't give the South the freedom that they needed. All through the years of Abacha regime, Babangida regime, the North did not resist. They didn't say that we must have a return to democracy. They didn't come out to intentionally push for a return to democracy. No. It was the southern people, right, in coalition with the southeast, the southwest, and of course maybe some elements of the south and the middle belt. But basically, those that wanted democracy to return were the likes of Mike Ezekome, the likes of Patutomi, the likes of Wole Soyinka, the likes of Femi Falana. You can see the names. They're right there. This history are there. You can fact check me. We didn't see Buhari then to come out and say, let us go back to democracy. You know, those that we saw in the middle belt, largely they were Christians and they were mostly of, They were mostly of this middle belt, southern Kaduna into middle belt. We didn't see Atiku as a then saying that we must return to democracy. No. We didn't see so many of these people. They were never part of the National Democratic NADECO, as it was called as a then. There were so many people who were, clamoring. These were people who were soliciting, advocating, like, let us return to democracy. We didn't have any prominent northern comrade, activist, right, from that extraction that has held this country to what it is today. None. Abiola lost his life. Obasanjo got almost killed. Dia dead. We can name them. A lot of them. So you see, the prayer that the South will be praying, it will be like one they pray like devil. It will be like someone they pray like angel. I'm telling you, like that disparity of ideology, we shouldn't have never been. When I saw that report, I said, this is a critical moment for Nigeria. Nigeria, in its real sense, as it stands today, cannot last beyond a decade. Let's say maybe by chance, by crew, whatever the case is, Obasanjo, Tinubu remains there. Will Tinubu hand over by 2031? That's the thing. But as I'm looking at it, they not are so determined to recover power. All right. And when they do, they simply want to reverse policies like the tax reform bill, which is, of course, going to encourage what we call fiscal federalism. They want to reverse anything that looks like constitutional amendment, or pause it or cancel it. The same thing they did for Jonathan when Jonathan was talking about confirm. Right? So you will begin to understand when you follow this channel, and if you haven't followed, please kindly click on the subscribe button, click on the notification bell so that you can get our views immediately we drop them. Because it is important that you are enlightened as the days goes by. You can see the movement, you can see the pattern in the Nigerian politics. You can see now that Obi and Amechi and all of them are now saying that we've all agreed we'll go for primaries. And whoever comes or emerges as a victor will be supported. They know what they are doing, my brother. You and I know that Obi does not have the financial muscle to face Atiku in primaries. And neither does he have the population that will support him, because I know that Atiku will not go for what we call direct primaries. He will go for the indirect primaries where they can buy delegates, do all those their shenanigans, right? So those are the concept. Those are the what? The concept. These two people who are on the sick bed as we speak, according to the report, they might be in a state of coma. Let your prayer, whatever it is, I hope it comes to pass. Right? Let your prayer as a southern person, whatever it is, I pray it comes to pass. Because I know and I wish that Nigeria must get restructured. Maybe if I'm asking for Nigeria to burn down, maybe it's too much, or maybe it is not realistic. But I know that Nigeria needs to be restructured. Nigeria must be restructured. I repeat, Nigeria needs to be restructured for it to be repositioned. And the North must be put in their place. Yes. Those that do not want us to have that restructuring are the Northerners. There is no gainsaying, there's no sugarcoating it, there's no hypocrisy about it. When you talk about so many reforms that we want, they are the ones who are always at the forefront going against it. Just imagine what they are doing right now. In Nigeria, as it stands, the Nigerian Boko Harams, let me put it that way, the Boko Harams are looking like they are Nigerian sponsored. In Borno State, on Sahara Reporter, as exposed by the Sahara Reporter and so many media handles, Professor Zulum, of the governor of Borno State, allocated 10 billion naira for Boko Haram. These are people who were caught right in the action, buying people. They were actually unaliving people. Do you get me? Let me repeat. 10 billion, not 1 billion, not 10 million, not 100 million, not 500 million, not 1 billion, not 5 billion, 10 billion. 10 billion, my people, for bandits, for terrorists. And you think terrorism will ever end? I don't blame them. I do not blame them. Listen, if Nigeria was restructured, they won't take the money that is generated in the south and take it to the federal and say they are sharing what we call FAC allocation. Will a Zulum have that temerity to be saying that I want to give 10 billion to repentant or repented Boko bandits? Dude, look at it. Imagine that successfully passed resource control bill, we have it today. Just imagine that we have a successfully passed resource control bill. And the money that is generated from the oil that is sold in my backyard, I am an Ondo man. The oil that I found there, I sell it. The crude oil, we sell it to the international market, and I made 100 million. According to that amendment, 25% should be remitted to the federal government. From the 100 million, I give federal government 25 million. Boom. I take my 75 million. That means from that 25 million, maybe at the end of the day, 500,000 will get to the hands of Borno. Boom. Do you think they will now say, no, what? They will not. They will look for the real solution. That is when you will know that the Borno government will be able to locate the house of the leader of that Boko Haram bandit, disturbing them. That is when you will see that, you guys can actually locate the family house of those bandits. Right? We are the one, the way Nigeria is structured will encourage those people to continue to lynch on us. And this is why I say insecurity will never end. Do you know how much Nigerian government spends? And that's why I said government-owned bandits. Because why would my country, my supposed country, say that 10 billion, how much are they allocating for Nigerian police? How much are they allocating for civil servants that have retired civil servants? How much are they allocating for them? The last time a video went viral that a policeman came out, he was crying, shedding tears, that for his own 35 years, the total pension fund he has is 2 million. He served Nigeria, God damn it. He served Nigeria for 35 freaking years. How old am I? So it means that the person that, the very day they born me, the guy who started serving from that day, now that I'm 35 plus, I haven't served Nigeria for 35 years, they will not give him a meager 2 million that as his pension fund. They will not be paying him maybe 20,000 every month, 20,000, so that he will receive that at the end of the year. He would have received 240,000. At the end of almost 10 years, his 2 million will not. Can you imagine? God, can you imagine? And meanwhile, just you, what we say, you know, be police. You don't even go to school. All you need is you go to elementary school, you get brainwashed, you become an Islamic radical, you pick up a gun, you start hitting, killing, and all that. At the end of the day, they arrest. This guy is a repentant. Then they give you 2 million as a what? As an incentive. Because let me call it an incentive. They say this is an incentive to you as a what? As a seed capital, because you have now repented Boko Haram. In some cases, they even give them a free house. I mean, these things are there. These things are everywhere. Well, let us listen to that speech of that man who said that Nigeria will not extend beyond 2027. Let's listen to him together.
Yes, last year we met Mr. President. He listened to us carefully, but it was his opinion then that yes, your goal, your mission is great, is good. But I do not see it now as the urgency of now. I'm more preoccupied by other matters of state. That was his view. But we are going to push now to say, Mr. President, sir, like we told you that time, you cannot pretend that you can solve these problems with the present fundamentally flawed structure that we have, where we are actually operating a unitary system of government instead of a federal system. For a diverse country, nation like Nigeria, with multi-ethnic groups, different religions, different nuances and cultures, you need a constitution that aggregates them without any of them feeling marginalized. The present constitution does not. The present constitution actually disincentivizes federative units from being productive because too much power is concentrated at the center that has 67 items on the exclusive legislative list.
And you want the president to agree and approve a constitution that will weaken his power?
No, not to weaken his power.
That has been the political dynamics
yes,
today, because even the National Assembly
they
have been very reluctant, because they are afraid that all of these, and that has been a problem with restructuring in Nigeria. Anyone that is talking about touching up or reviewing the constitution of Nigeria, because it is said that the president of Nigeria is perhaps, within the capacity of power that he has, is probably one of the most powerful people on earth, because of the powers available in the constitution to the president.
Yes. You see, the problem is this. We have a problem, a clear and present danger staring us in the face. This is one time the president is going to make a huge sacrifice to show that as one of us, we were in the pro-democracy movement together. You can see some viral video where I will address the public and he will address. It's there in the public domain. This is one time the president, we know that his name will even be better left in historical gold if under him a brand new constitution that addresses our problems is midwifed. He will even be remembered more for that than the building of roads, because it is historic.
All right, Prof.
Yes.
And I dare not engage you in a legal debate.
No.
No.
This is not really a legal matter.
You are a juggernaut, a legal juggernaut. I'm just a dwarf when it comes to legal knowledge. But I'd like to ask and guide us, because this has been the conversation around constitutional review and how we can be able to adopt constitutionalism in the face of birthing a new constitution. How do you exit the present one and enter into a new arrangement?
Yes.
A lot of people will say by a plebiscite.
Yeah.
Do you plebiscite away the first one? What about the lacuna? What happens? Because the president is sworn to uphold this constitution, then you are now asking him to jettison the constitution in which he swore an oath to uphold for another constitution that he never swore to. There is a major constitutional issue here.
Let me tell you how it works. There is no conflict, no confusion. We are not telling the president to simply get up and say, Patriots, I hereby jettison the present constitution. There will be a process. We will introduce a bill. The National Assembly will introduce a bill. The bill will enact what I call a National Referendum Commission, NRC. The National Referendum Commission is going to be the think tank that will organize how this constitution comes into being, and this can be done very quickly. Now, this national this body is the one that will be responsible for bringing about specialists, constitutional specialists, and representatives of the ethnic groups that will draft a new constitution. The ingredients of the new constitution will be the result of the 2014 National Conference, the 1963 Republican Constitution provisions, which are the best so far because it was very federalist in nature, and then all the amendments that the National Assembly has so far been doing to tell them that their efforts are not in vain, they are not wasted. They will all be distilled by this body.
Will it now be a sixth alteration to the 1999 Constitution?
No.
Or it will now be a 2025 or 2026 Constitution?
When it is done, it will now be subjected to a referendum of the Nigerian people.
By
each
vote.
item, by vote.
Just like what we saw in
yes
UK,
or no,
where there was a vote
for
on
the Brexit. Yeah, Brexit. You know, it was also done on the 10th of August, 1963, for the Midwest region to exit Western region. So the Nigerian people will vote yes or no to each item. And when they agree, it is this one that will be put in a document called a new constitution and given to Mr. President, which he will promulgate into law. Of course, upon promulgating it into law, the old constitution will cease to exist through an act of the National Assembly that will repeal it. So the National Assembly is central to this. The executive led by Mr. President is central to this. No one is going to rubbish them. No